just wanted to kind of extrapolate some of the things that we talked about yesterday, specifically technology, with our older kids when they were growing up, which would have been the 2000s, so there wasn't nearly as much. But we just wanted to clarify kind of why we came out here and what their early childhood looked like and how we derailed and then got back on track. So when they were really small, we didn't have a TV. We didn't get a TV until my oldest was 7 and my middle son was 4, and that's mostly because we were poor. We got married in college, had kids right away, and we didn't have the money for a TV.
Started young.
Yeah, or anything else really, just food and bills. But then once they were a little bit older, we got a TV and a VHS player. What are those called?
Yeah,
VCR.
Oh, yeah.
And
Video cassette recorder.
yeah, but we couldn't afford cable, so it was secondhand VHS recordings and the antenna, and that's all we had. So they were limited to like Thomas, Kipper, The Wiggles, PBS. We were pretty
Classics.
Yeah, but we were pretty deliberate in what they watched, mostly because those bright colors and loud TV shows are really bad for their development. It causes attention issues, so we kept it with the low sensory input shows and with calm narrators and actual plot. When they were a little bit older, about 9 and 6, you had gotten a bonus, right, for Christmas? That's when we got the Xbox 360?
Yep, that's correct.
And that was our first gaming console, and they were 9 and 6, I think. But Leonard Sachs advises in his book that I talked about in our other video. What was that book called again? Boys Adrift. In that book, he talks about using video games to help boys learn self-control. As you know, most people know, screens cause a dopamine spike, and then when you remove the screen from the child, that dopamine just bottoms out and they flip out and they have a meltdown. So we instituted a 5-minute rule. They could use the video games for about 30 minutes at a time. We'd give them a 5-minute warning, and they were expected to control their emotions when they had the video game taken away. And that worked pretty well, I think.
Yeah, and at that time period, I don't think video games were as competitive or addictive as they are now.
And they weren't online as much.
Yeah, correct. It doesn't work now.
No, yeah, this is a whole different world that we live in now.
Yep.
They spent most of their time outside. They were feral. I mean, they were beating each other with sticks of bamboo and climbing trees, and they were very crazy.
All boy.
And had a blast. And that was part of why we homeschooled them, so they could just be all boy. Then they got iPhones at 15, and we were really strict with parental controls. They did, again, time limits. They had to turn them in at night. We were very deliberate with their technology. And then we moved to Hawaii for 3.5 years, and none of the other kids would come out. So I had teenage boys who, in spite of us putting them in activities, and they had music lessons, and I had them pretty involved in stuff. Outside of those activities, they had nobody to hang out with, nothing to do, and they were bored out of their minds. And they were so bored they took up bare knuckle boxing each other. That was fun. But that's where the addiction to technology started for them. I stopped enforcing the boundaries. I just kind of allowed them to lose themselves. Most of their friends were online gaming with them. That's where they were getting their social interaction, and I didn't want to take it from them. I think that a lot of parents fall into that. What are you supposed to do? All their friends are online. And then after Hawaii, we did a little stint in Virginia, and their friends that they'd had there before we went to Hawaii were all addicted to their screens. So again, they had no interaction. All their friends were on. Even the kid that lived across the street was on the only way he talked to my son was online playing video games. So what am I supposed to freaking do, And it was really upsetting. And then we moved here, and that's when we were like, that's it. We're cutting the cord. We're doing this property. I don't care. If they're going to be bored and isolated, they're going to learn skills. I mean, I can't prevent the boredom. I can't prevent the isolation, so I handed him over to him. But essentially, right, you just took over and started teaching them.
Yeah, and we did everything the hard way. When we first got here, we didn't have much of a driveway. Like I said, me being in the military, we did a lot of exercises that would kind of tear you down to build you up. So we use the same type of technique here. So we have about almost a half-mile driveway, and we had them carry all the lumber up the hill, and I mean I did it with them.
Me
So
too.
that's on our original 16 by 16 cabin. So 2x4s, 2x6s, OSB sheets, all that stuff.
We carried it a third of a
Packed it
mile.
up the hill.
What is an 800-foot climb over a third of a mile.
Yeah.
And that was because our car wouldn't make it up. It wasn't a deliberate exercise for them, but it did. It was a huge challenge, and I do think they really enjoyed it. You'd have to ask them, but yeah, the whole process here of building the cabin and all the challenges that they faced really helped them grow, and I don't regret one bit cutting the cord and taking the technology away cold turkey, and they were totally fine with it. They rose to the occasion, and it worked out great. Go ahead.
Yeah, and like I said, I was a deep sea diver and an engineer in the Army. That's how I have a background in a lot of construction and mechanics, plumbing, electrical, just general trades. And the more I pushed the boys, the more they kind of embraced it. We call it in the military embracing the suck. Well, most boys like challenges, and we were actually just talking, I'm not sure the company you were talking about, but they increased the efficiency of their cleaning supplies by putting small flies in urinals in, was it airports? Or
It was the Amsterdam airport.
the Amsterdam airport.
Yeah, they cut their cleaning costs by 8% by putting a fly near the drain in the urinal. This is from the book Atomic Habit, which if you haven't read it, it's a great book. It just
Yeah, list that below.
I'll put
good
that
book.
below. But yeah, he was the author. James Clear was talking about how they decreased using the psychology of men. They like challenges. They put this little fly near the drain in the urinal, and so the men would aim at the fly, and it decreased their cleaning by 8%. Because men love a challenge.
That's an absolute fact. Now, I'm not telling you, like, you can't over-push young men, so make sure that you have a,
Positive
pretty good
affirmations.
understanding, and you let them know in advance what is coming.
Yes.
We call that a warno, but, warn these kids that, hey, tomorrow we're doing this, and it's going to be, in the moment, feel like the worst thing that you've ever gone through in your life, but your human body can take a lot more than you think, and we're going to do it. And it doesn't matter if it's going to rain, if it's snowing, we're going to do it. And that, I truly believe, shaped my children in a way. It definitely shaped me in a way, in the military, that I can handle, I think, a lot more than the average person. And now I know that they can handle a lot more than they could prior to doing it. So, and as they grow, I hope that they push their children and use some of the same techniques.
Yeah, definitely. And as if you're raising a boy now, I mean, we have a 12-year-old, so it's different now. We understand that. A lot of these principles are still applicable. Joe does not have a phone. I will not probably allow him to have a phone until he's 18. There's too many other options now. You have the Gizmo watch. If you don't know what that is, I will post a link. Most people know about the Gab phones and watches. There's other options that allow you to be in contact with your child that are not a phone and are not connected to the internet. But he has a DS, and he has a PlayStation 2. He has a Chromebook from 2012. He
Yep.
can only access his school's website on it. We very much limit his internet access, not just for safety. There are lots of pedophiles on the internet. I would never, we did let him play Roblox for 2 weeks?
Yeah, 2 weeks.
Because he felt pressured by kids in the neighborhood. We were living on post at the time. And that lasted 2 weeks before weird stuff happened on Roblox. And
Yep.
then, no, Fortnite, absolutely not.
Fortnite gone, Roblox gone, Rocket
Yeah.
League gone.
No online gaming for him. There's too many predators, but also he's not mature enough. I don't think he's unusual for his age. A lot of boys in those forums are really nasty to each other. Moms and dads, you probably don't know this, but they are really mean to each other because they're competitive and they want to win, but it's Lord of the Flies, like we talked about in the earlier video.
Boys Adrift.
There's no leader, so they're all fighting with each other to try and establish dominance, which is natural for them, and they're socially not developing in a healthy way. Instead, they're just being nasty because there's no oversight. So no online gaming for him until he's a little bit more mature.
I wouldn't say there's no online gaming. He still does like some Minecraft.
That's true.
We brought
With-
back kind
with
of
his
the
brothers.
classics. His favorite game right now, mind blown on this, Tetris. And I know you guys have all played Tetris because he used to be huge.
And Cubert.
In Cubert. So, getting away from the competitive games, if you can lose rank on a game, he was literally upset for 3 days. So, I mean, I'm talking, this kid was depressed. He was really mad because he just really wanted to win in these games, and it was all about his rank. And the moment we took that away,
Are you talking about Fortnite and?
yeah, any
Those ranking games.
challenge game, yeah, any ranked game, and we put him back to some of the classics.
Much happier kid.
Much happier. Now he didn't really necessarily like the old school games where you only get 3 chances, and when you're dead, you're dead. There's no continue, you know. But it was good for him to watch him understand that you don't get unlimited tries. So fun experiment, and like I said, a lot of those games are the classics. So you guys will probably enjoy playing a round or two yourself. I know I most certainly did, you know. And it's one of the few games he was just like in amazement, like, how are you so good at this? How did these puzzle pieces fit into the, you know, just right? And you move them so quick. And it was like, that was a game, you know, back when I was a kid.
We've been doing this for
Yeah.
decades.
I watched the Atari
We're
become
professional.
invented, right? The Commodore 64, you know. But, so, I mean, I don't have anything else, I don't think, for this video. We're making some Zuppa Toscana soup, which I got from a good friend of mine online, Wolf. Thank you, appreciate it, love it. But it's very cold here. We've had some drainage issues, so with our pipes
We
and
have
plumbing.
water today. We didn't like yesterday when we did our video. We didn't have water.
Yeah, we didn't get water back until this morning.
Late morning.
Yeah.
I took a shower. It was nice.
Yeah, yeah. But anyhow, so now that, you know, the shower water is, you know, still in the shower, so I got to figure out how to get underneath the
Pipes
house.
are
Yeah. Definitely not a blowtorch, I know that. But yeah, we'll get that unclogged sometime today. So, but we appreciate it. Really like the comments. If you guys comment, we're going to respond, and we're going to look at that information.
And if you have questions, if we can answer them,
Mm-hmm.
we definitely will. And if we can't answer them, we'll go to the wise Google experts and ask them your question.
Yeah. Like I said, we appreciate you guys. Please comment. Please continue to join us on our journey. We picked up another, I think, 15 subscribers
not keeping
today.
track.
Well, I am. Why not?
I know.
I love analytics. You know, I have nothing else to do. You know, so this is purpose. You know, running a homestead literally is just a few chores in the day, and then trying to figure out how to fix all the you know, the problems and mishaps, especially in the winter. Now, when it gets summertime and spring and fall, it's a whole different story. There's a lot to do, but in the winter, there's not a lot to do. So,
Are you kidding me? The summer is awful. Winter's my favorite.
Yeah.
It's so hot. Nobody wants to be out there mowing grass and feeding animals in like 90-degree heat. At least I don't.
you weren't going to anyhow.
I'm gonna make you do it. Okay, we should probably turn it off.
Yep. Hey, don't let the thorn and thistle keep you down. We'll see you in the next video.
Bye.